Hi there, Sandra here from Createinspain. I wanted to show you how I'm doing a project today because although Leonardo has print to cut and you can use it for many types of print and cut, it can't cope with certain things because at the moment at least you can't separate the image from a cut outline. You send one to the printer and you send one to the cutter, but you can't edit it if you're using PNGs or JPEGs. What you end up with is what you have to actually print and cut. So from this point of view, because of what I want to do with these little mice, I have to do it somewhere else. Now, there's a couple of alternatives. I could have gone back into my iPad, edited the images in there, and then exported the PNG directly to Leonardo, or I can do it in Shortcut Slot. Now, I think the chances are probably more of you have got access to Shortcut Slot than have access to an iPad and Procreate and an Apple Pencil, so I'm doing it this way. So I've got my image which I imported and resized, and I have flipped one of the images because I want a front and a back. Now if I roll over here, you can see I have an offset applied here already, and I've added a loop to my offset. Now to do this, what you need to do is to ungroup your image from your trace line, go to a path and go to an offset, or you go to add a shadow layer and you remove the original cut line. Choice is yours. And then you add your loop and you weld it together by using union path. So that's how I created these two. Well, at the moment, all you can see is that there is a cut line there and there's an image and you can't see anything else. But I've actually got a whole page of these mice. As you can see, if I scroll over them, there's 9 in total. The reason for this is because this whole page is set to print, and I copied the cut lines so that I took my mouse, I made 3 rows of 3 mice, flipped one of them round the other way, and then I set both the cut line and the inside to be white because I'm going to be using white card, and that means nothing's going to be printed, but when I put it into Leonardo, it will still trace it. And that is what I need it to do. So let's just check. Yay, we're there. Okay, so I'm not going to alter any settings on here, and I'm just going to click next. I'm still not getting holes there. Maybe it's because of the minimum contour area. Aha, there we go. Now it's going to put the holes in for me. Okay, go to next. And that is exactly what I wanted. Yippee. There we are. Now these are importing smaller than they were originally, so I'm just going to move them up as far as I can to the top left and make them a lot bigger. Okay, a bit too far to the left, a bit too far. Okay, get a bit closer than that, surely. There we go. Now pull this out. And okay, a bit too much. There we go. So if I send this to my printer, the only thing that's going to print are the 2 images of the mice, and the rest of it is just going to be the registration marks. And so I should be able to do this quite easily. Send them to my design and go to send and send to printer. And just want to check that I'm putting it on best quality. Yeah. And I better put some card in my printer, just check that. So I've got my print now and I can send it to the cutter when I get it to my mat by clicking on here and then just sending that to the cutter. Now I'm choosing to use the cutter settings, so I will check that the cutter settings are correct for the weight of card that I've got, and then these things are going to be cut out. However, I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat, and I'm going to send them through to the cutter once to cut the actual items out. And then I'm going to put some clear vinyl over the 2 coloured mice and send it back to the cutter. The registration marks are still there, but all it's going to do then is cut that top layer of vinyl for me and give me a nice, neat finish. Got my images actually cut out. That's pretty good, I think. Pull that back over that corner, just in case the reflection causes a problem with the mark. It probably wouldn't, but just in case. There's no point in risking it. Press this down well. So I'm going to send that to the cutter with a light pressure just to cut through that vinyl. Once I've done that, I'm going to put those mice between a sheet of just normal copy paper like this and run it through my laminator. And the reason for that is it really makes that vinyl stick beautifully. It gives it a nice smooth finish. It just makes it look even better. So here's my little mouse decoration. I think he's really quite sweet. He needs to dry out, and I will put him underneath the weight tonight to dry properly, and then tomorrow I will seal the edges with some PVA glue just to make those waterproof basically. And he's all ready to be hung up or used on a keychain. I mean, it's pretty solid, and by the time it dries, these are actually pretty strong. I made some before and put tassels and things on them of different things. And this method of making them is actually not only easy, but it looks really good too. So there we go, a little mouse. I will leave the LDS file down below and a copy of the PNG, so if you want to do all the importing stuff and work out how to do it yourself, you can. And I'll see you again soon. Take care now.